Many years ago, I worked with a guy named Doug Dixon. He was a really good guy. Happy, always joking away. He was the life of the party. Always a smile on his face. Then one weekend he went up to Jasper and he shot himself. We couldn't believe it. He was the last guy you would expect to have been suffering from depression, but that's what had happened. Today in America, 1.5% of the population suffer from depression. That's over 3 million people. But in the trucking industry, 13.6% of truckers suffer from depression. Depression is something prevalent in our occupation, and it's something we need to pay attention to and be aware of. Why is depression so much greater in truck drivers? Guys, being guys, may not even discuss depression. They may feel it, but they may not want to talk about it, and they may just tough it out and suffer through it. And sometimes that's not always the answer. For one thing, we're alone an awful lot. And sometimes when you've got a lot of stuff to think about, a lot of time to think about it, sometimes those thoughts aren't always the best. You miss your family, you're away from home and your friends a lot. The trucking company may be a bit of a jerk to work for. Maybe you're not making enough money. It seems like you're working all the time and hardly paying the bills and getting ahead, if you are actually getting ahead. The time you do get to see your family, it seems like you just land home, sleep, get up, eat, shower, pack, and you're gone again. So you're not really getting any quality time with your family. Anything like that could be bringing depression on in some people. Sometimes depression can be brought on simply by sleep deprivation. If you think you're slipping into depression, contact your family more. Phone home, talk to your friends more, be a little more social, get out more. Take the time to relax and unwind. I used to like to wash my truck or sit down and read a good book just to unwind. Some guys, and you see a lot of this lately, some guys get a pet, like a dog, to travel with them for companionship. Maybe that's why you see so many dogs at truck stops riding with truckers. My wife points out that some guys may prefer cats. Signs that you may be suffering from a little bit of depression? You may find yourself lately with a short fuse and a quick temper. Or you're tired and lackadaisical all the time. You're having trouble getting enough sleep, you're restless. You just don't feel good. You're not interested in the stuff you used to enjoy, and you have trouble focusing on stuff that you need to focus on. Find a hobby that you can do when you land in the truck stop at night, just to occupy yourself. It can be something as simple as concentrating on eating well and getting a little bit of exercise. Go for a walk around the truck stop. I always like to do that in the evening, look at the trucks. If you're not getting enough sleep, make sure you focus on starting to get enough sleep. And the best sleep is sleep at night. Try to avoid running through the night. Do your driving in the daytime, you're sleeping in the nighttime, no matter what the dispatchers and what the ELD may want. Your health is more important than any load. If you feel like it's getting a little bit out of control, don't be afraid to ask a professional for help. And you may even consider leaving your job, quitting your job, getting away from it a little while, and think about a new occupation, get away from trucking, something that gives you more time with your family and less time on the road. Good health is paramount to professional driving, be it physical health or mental health, and we need to pay attention to both. It's important that we do. It helps us stay safe and it helps us drive safe. I pray that you never have an issue, though, in this regard. On the lighter side, let me tell you a story about my friend Dick Maynard. Dick Maynard and I were coming out of Calgary one day. It was a Saturday. It was a sunny, beautiful morning. It was in the spring. Dick had just gotten a brand new stainless trailer, and by God, it was shiny. The sun was just bouncing off it. The skin was so shiny on that trailer you could brush your teeth or comb your hair in the reflection. Oh, it was a beautiful thing. We decided to land in old Fort McLeod for breakfast on our way down south. So the truck stop was small, the parking lot was gravel, so Dick eased very carefully into the gravel parking lot, and they almost all were gravel back then. creeped in slowly as to not stir up the dust. I came in beside him and parked, walked around to where Dick's door was and waited for Dick to get out. He got out, and the two of us were standing there admiring his new trailer before we went in for breakfast. But Dick had parked next to a bull rack. And all of a sudden, as we were standing there watching, one of the old girls on the top layer backed up against the grating. There was a god-awful noise, and she let one go. Well, it shot through the grating, splashed all over Dick's shiny new trailer, and it was way too high to reach up to clean it off. I thought Dick was going to cry. He stood there with this bemoaned look on his face. You could see his lips starting to quiver, and he knew that would be hanging there until we got to the nearest truck wash down somewhere around Butte or someplace. I don't know where it was, but he knew he was going to be going down the road like that for quite a while anyway now. It just ruined his day. His breakfast was shot. He couldn't even concentrate on enjoying his breakfast. He was no good at conversation that morning. He was just upset because this had wrecked his whole day. And you know, I tried not to laugh, but it wasn't very easy. I knew how he felt. I'd been upset if it had happened to me, but it had happened to Dick, and it wrecked half the trip anyway, until he got to the truck wash, and after that he felt a little better, but he was mad about it for weeks later. I don't know what's ever become of Dick Maynard. I'm sure he's passed on now. He used to say that Dick was a little skinny guy, and he was married to a girl named Dorothy that was about 300 pounds. And this was back in the 80s when water beds were all the fashion. He used to say that when Dorothy got into bed, the tidal wave was so great it knocked him out the bed the other side. That's what kind of a funny guy he was. I miss him. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the back haul.